All right. Just let me take a sip of this coffee. Now, that's good coffee. Now, on the outset, I wanted to say that I talk about loneliness in this video, and kind of how I found ways to help with it. If you want to stick around with this one, by all means, but if not, I don't blame you. This can get a bit deep. If you're still here, thank you. Buckle up, boys. We're in for a ride. It's no secret that over the past couple of years, people have felt a lot more isolated and alone. Loneliness seems to be on the rise. And to be completely real with you guys, I've been experiencing loneliness in a very deep way. Look, as an introvert, being around other people, especially people that I don't know very well, drains me to no end and makes me exhausted. But there can be genuinely those times where being alone can truly start to feel lonely. And just speaking from my experience, even though I hang with the guys on a Discord call regularly, the loneliness seems to be there from time to time. I refuse to believe that I am the only one who looks up at the ceiling at 3 a.m. because I can't fall asleep, because I feel that, black pit, that void of loneliness and longing for another to be with. Look, for me, it feels like I've been assembling a puzzle. While I've used all the pieces that were in the puzzle box, there's still one piece missing. And it's frustrating. But personally, I know there's a greater plan to this life, and it will all work out one day. And someday I'll find that puzzle piece, and the puzzle will be kind of finished. Now, make no mistake, the puzzle is going to change shapes over the years, and there'll be pieces lost and pieces found and new pieces added to the puzzle. But what about you? I look around me and I see a whole bunch of people interacting with each other, but they're not bonding. They're not connecting. They're not getting real social interaction. And mainly, I think that fault lies on social media and the pandemic, where isolation was brought upon our society. And at least from where I stand, I see so many people who feel anxious, sad, and lonely around me. When I'm scrolling on Instagram, I see reels of thought-provoking quotes or someone talking about isolation or other topics on that nature. And the comments are people crying out as to their anxieties and loneliness that they are experiencing. And I see people prescribing that problem of not having a significant other. But I think it might be something else. Something much deeper. Something a lot more basic. In a society of highlights and nothing else, except for the lowest of lowlights, the stuff that people get canceled for, we as a society have internalized that our lives have to look and mirror the highs that other people post online. Nowadays, we live in a world where every image is photoshopped, every video is highly edited, and every person's life, who isn't a living piece of dirt, seems to be living the fairy tale dream. And whether we acknowledge it or not, it affects us. It does. I think sometimes to an extreme level. There has been publication after scientific publication that links social media use in kids to raise levels of anxiety, loneliness, and depression. But I think that's just the tip of this social iceberg. For viewers of mine, you'll know that I've dealt with depression before, and I don't mean like clinical depression. I mean just like that kind of like hole, that pit, that kind of sadness. But what has helped me move out of that kind of headspace was focusing on the brighter parts of my life and what I bring to the people around me. It might sound dumb, but when I'm not focusing on the bad parts of my life and I'm really looking on how I can help others, the people who have it worse off than me, it gives me the perspective that I need to show just how special my life is and how much I matter to the people around me. You know the meme of us boys talking about the deepest topics at 3 a.m.? Those are the conversations that you end up remembering the most. The conversations that stick with you for a lifetime. That is the time when you really get to know people the most. To know and to truly understand their struggles, aspirations, and goals. Now I want to pause and say, loneliness is such a hard subject to talk about, simply because it's such a multifaceted problem. Simply put, someone can be surrounded by people and be really lonely. And someone can live comfortably alone and never feel that feeling. But all of that is to give context to the next part of what I'm going to say. If you are lonely, and I don't mean alone, I mean truly lonely, find someone in your life that you can trust. Someone who you can spend those lonely nights with in a Discord call, a phone call, or even in person. Look, I know some of the modern culture has prescribed, at least to men, in some strange ways that you don't need others. But I truly think we were created for relationships. Our humanity has only continued on by relationships. Both marital, that brings new life into the world, and friendships. Those who are there for each other, in the good times and the bad. And for those who say that you don't have that person, I think you'll be surprised just to find out how many of us like-minded people there are out there. People who care about others and want to look out for the people around them. Too often, because of social media, we only see other people by their politics, beliefs, or even the things that they've said that we might personally take offense to. And we seem to dehumanize those people by not wanting what's best for that person. People will genuinely not want to be friends with someone because they found out about a certain political stance they hold, or something even more trivial than that. I think one solution to loneliness, one that at least has worked for me, is looking out for others. Simply because they are human beings and it's the right thing to do. We are not of ourselves, and because of that, we orient ourselves to others. We find healing that we would not have found on our own. And we see that through the lens of helping other people. Now, to be clear, this is not the one and done solution for loneliness, but rather a potential starting point that has helped me. Look, as I have said before, I will never tell you what to believe. I will simply put forward what I have found helpful for me, and maybe this can be a jumping off point for you to start on your own journey, your own adventure of fulfillment. I know, at least for me, I crave adventure. I crave the open world and endless possibilities of the universe. I think that's one of the reasons that I love Minecraft so much. You know, way in our distant past, we would fight the dragon, save the village, and stand and take the hero's death. And I think we still have that desire to do the same. However, it looks different now. Time has changed. We as humans have changed. You have to see this passion, this feeling in a new light. Maybe the dragon you have to slay is that of yourself and the things you don't like about yourself. Maybe the village to save is that of the people around you. To make them feel loved and valued. And dying the hero's death is dying to our own selfish desires and dying to ourselves and rising to a new life. I think one of my best lines for my life actually comes relatively recently from a recent internet phenomena, the digital circus. I think it's episode 3, where Kinger says to Pomni when they're in, this like literal purgatory hell area, the worst thing that you can do is to make someone feel like they're not wanted or loved. Cherish the people around you. You never know just how much simply telling someone that they are important and that you care for them will do for others. In a world of isolation, darkness, sadness, anxiety, and despair, be the connection, the light, the joy, the comfort and compassion that others need so desperately. Our world is never going to change unless we, the nobodies, the outcasts, the dreamers of unusual dreams, choose to be the change that the world so desperately needs. And I'm not talking about grand changes or world-defining events. Every single day, there are hundreds of tiny little battles in which we can choose to win if we do the right thing. Do the right thing. One right step after the other. And together we can change not just the internet, but the world. On the outset of this, the last couple talk videos have been kind of over, darker topics, I guess. We've covered YouTube is slowly killing us, the rise of AI in kind of like the art digital space, and now loneliness. I promise you guys we'll have some more, we'll have some fun topics coming up. I have some other really fun things to talk about. But you all have an amazing rest of your week. Peace, and I'll see you on the next one.